remember the time when we were one with the sun and all the joy that we had, 'cause in our hearts we were one. The point was focused on us, and we enjoyed this dream. In and out at our will, saturated auspiciously. Star people come down, we are preparing to be with you again.
Greetings, soul family. This is Amenti, the Awakener, Amenti, the Oracle, soul of Aya Asha. And I come to you today with this energy report for the month of July 2020. Also to speak to you about the Sirius gateway, the Sirius portal that opens on the 3rd to the 7th. And also to provide some guidance and information from my higher self and also my spiritual team. At the moment we are experiencing a lot of energetic shifts on the planet as she is raising her vibrational frequency as we shift into this next octave of our experience. As the planet raises in her vibration and frequency, we also raise in our vibration and frequency because our energy field is aligned with that of the earth. Our heart is aligned with that of the earth. Everything about us is aligned with that of the frequency of the earth. So as she shifts, we also shift. At the current moment, I myself am going through a soul integration. I am becoming aware of all of my past experiences, past timelines, and I'm also embodying more of my oversoul and avatar aspects. So we're talking about my 12th dimensional to 15th dimensional self. And what's taking place is just me bringing in more of my soul knowledge, my soul wisdom. And throughout this lockdown period, or what I call the cocoon period, it's all been about clearing the shadow and illuminating the shadow, and illuminating some of the last experiences and soul lessons within my lower self matrix. And many of us have been doing that as well. Over the past 11 to 12 years, I have found myself moving between different aspects of my being, embodying my higher self, embodying galactic self, but then also still having to move back into the lower self consciousness. And I'm just getting a lot more understanding about that now, as we understand that time is not linear, but time is on one level happening all at the same time. So the past, the present, and the future all exist within the same moment. But also understanding that time is almost spiral, almost a spiral shape, which helps us to understand that we are always shifting through different experiences of time. We're able to go back into the past in this present moment and gain soul lessons from things that happened to us in the seemingly past and bring those soul lessons into the now, which are almost like building blocks that help us to bring in more of our higher self consciousness at this time. So I'm also going through my own personal integration. I've also been finding that I've been experiencing more of the balancing of my masculine and feminine energies within my being, and experiencing that oneness. Many of us have had to go through a lot of trauma in this lifetime, and embodying and holding the energy of the divine feminine archetype, especially many light workers and starseeds. And what is taking place right now, and what has been taking place since the beginning of this year, is us stepping into the warrior aspect of our coding, stepping into the light warrior, the indigo warrior, the divine masculine aspect of ourselves. and that's taking place within. So it's acknowledging the divine feminine, which is the ability to connect with consciousness, the divine feminine aspects of the heart, compassion, empathy, love, but also combining that with the divine masculine aspects of protection of self, direction and focus of self, and having that balance within the self. And so that's what I've also been experiencing, shifting through this alchemical dance of embodying my divine feminine aspects and also embodying my divine masculine aspects. And that comes from when you do the shadow healing, and also when you start to integrate a lot of your different soul aspects. What people don't understand is that the shadow holds a lot of your power, because in your experiences you have given away your power in order to learn certain lessons. So even underneath your so-called anger and rage is your power. And so we have to alchemize the shadow, meaning that we have to go into those painful experiences from our higher self and bring light to those experiences. We have to enlighten them by bringing the wisdom, helping us to see it from an observer's perspective, and helping us to bring understanding as to why we would have chosen to experience those lessons. Understanding that we are not our stories. We have chosen to experience everything that we're experiencing in order for us to be able to reach the vibrational frequency of soul power and awareness and knowledge, so that we can be part of this shift as we usher in this new age, but also for our own soul's development and growth. So a lot of the things that we are experiencing right now are about integrating. We're moving beyond the duality experience and bringing everything into understanding of polarity. And polarity is what is required to understand oneness. There is no good or bad. There's good and bad. And you have the divine right, divine will as a divine being to choose how you engage with your reality, and your intention is so important in terms of defining how you utilize the energy that is available to you. So there is a lot taking place. Many people have been feeling lethargic, they've been feeling tired, feeling dehydrated especially, and you're encouraged at this time to nurture the self. When you look at many of the ascended master archetypes, such as the Christ or the Buddha, you will understand that they spent time navigating their inner realms. When the Christ speaks of his experience with the devil or the darkness within him, and he traveled through those 40 days and 40 nights, that was actually an experience that took place within his own consciousness, and it was about overcoming and mastering his own shadow, his own darkness, and ensuring that he stayed centered within the truth. The Buddha also had to do the same, journey within his own darkness in order to illuminate his own shadow and gain the lessons that he needed to gain for himself ultimately. So there is a lot of that taking place. You are being encouraged to take time for self. As the planet is shifting and raising in frequency and vibration, you are encouraged to take time for self, because your frequency, your resonant frequency, is what helps to anchor light on this planet and anchor emotions and vibrations on this planet. So when you focus on embodying your true light, when you focus on nurturing your light, when you focus on being grounded and connecting and aligning your energies with the earth, you are also anchoring higher frequencies of energy onto this planet and helping her to shift, because the more of us that anchor these higher frequency energies, the more that we're able to stabilize those frequencies on the planet. So a lot of what we're going through is about transforming and transmutating old timelines, old karmic lessons, to awaken more of our true soul potential and our true soul power, true soul consciousness, and embodying the higher self. I've spoken a lot in my past videos about the lower self and the return to innocence. Innocence meaning the inner sense, the inner ability to sense reality, but also innocence, your divine innocence, your divine state. as the original divine blueprint of angelic human. You returning to your innocence is you returning to your power and returning to your light. And so through way of transmuting the shadow, we return to the innocence. Through way of healing the inner child story, we reintegrate the power of us in our divine state, us in our child of God state. So a lot of the shadow work that we are doing is helping us to get back to the innocence, get back to the inner light, the inner guidance, the true understanding, the true embodiment of who it is that we are. We are, in fact, embodying the Trinity. We are the child, we are the mother, we are the father. And this is very interesting for this time that we are in, because the Sirius gateway connects to ancient Egypt, because the ancient Egyptians are also one of the ancient civilizations who communicated with the beings from Sirius, as well as the Dogons and as well as the Zulu tribes of Africa. They all connected with the Sirius beings. But also Sirius is connected to Set. Set being Isis, representing the Great Mother, and she also is the first original story of the Trinity. So when we look at the Trinity story that we see in Christianity of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and then essentially the embodiment of Christ, Mary the Mother, and the Father Joseph, we get that original story from ancient Kemet, from ancient Egypt, where we speak of Isis giving birth to Horus, and we see that she gives birth through immaculate conception because Osiris, the father principle, is in the spiritual realm. He's in the hidden, he's in the underworld. And what we also see there is a reversal of energies, because in that particular Trinity, Osiris, which represents the phallus, which represents the masculine, which represents the creative principle, is actually not in full manifestation, meaning that his energy, that creative principle energy, that phallus energy, is actually within the hidden realms, within the feminine realms. And it shows again this duality of balance, Osar representing the masculine energy, but also the underworld representing the feminine energy, that balance that brings birth, that brings forth creation. Set represents the mother, Isis represents the mother. She also represents the energy of embodiment of God, right? Embodiment of the creative aspect of God, where she is then able to give birth of herself. And that's almost similar to the transformation that I'm going through within myself, and also many of us. We are aligning with the divine Trinity within of our inner child, our inner mother, our inner father. Okay, and that is what's also taking place within us. And so today I was guided to come and share this video to give some information and insight for the Starseeds, for the light workers, and for the general collective, because many people are at different stages of awakening. The awakening process is going to take up until 2032. So we are actually in what's called the bridge zone, and we will see many waves of ascension. A lot of the activity that's taking place on the planet and also within the universe is helping to facilitate the energetic changes that we need in order for us to awaken from our amnesia, and to also activate these different levels of consciousness, dimensions, and perceptions within our 3D mind, within our mind. So helping us to awaken with each and every stage to understanding more of who it is that we are, and then embodying more of our soul aspects so that we can live from those aspects of ourselves. We can live from our higher self. We can live from our oversoul. We can live from our Christos avatar self. And the Christos avatar self is the 12-dimensional self and above. And so many of us who have been doing a lot of the work and have done a lot of the past life work and have been here through many other ascensions will find that they are shifting now into their Christos avatar self. And this would be something that would have naturally taken place in our human evolution. So before the Tower of Babel and before Christ embodied on the planet, we had the natural propensity to be able to embody our full soul consciousness whilst living within our physical body. And it would be through the ages of 0 to 12, we would embody our soul consciousness. From the age of 12 to 22, we embody our oversoul consciousness. And from the age of 22 to 33, we start to master that oversoul consciousness. And from the age of 33 to 44, we start to embody our avatar consciousness, our Christ consciousness. Due to some of the past effects of what has taken place by other beings, and in terms of the genetic seeding of humanity, that process had been disrupted. And so hence why we see that many people do not even connect with their soul aspects, because we have been held in the lower vibrational experiences of what it means to be human, meaning that we haven't had the opportunity en masse to experience awakening our true oversoul consciousness and our avatar self-consciousness. The return of the Christ is the return of the Christ consciousness to this planet, and there will be ones and ones who will embody that vibration and also support others in activating that aspect of themselves. We're going to see very many revelations taking place within the month of July, within the month of August, and within the month of September. As the whole global stage is being reset and recalibrated, we will see the global reset, the global financial reset take place within this time. We will start to see different stories and prophecies from the past coming to the fore, and seeming as if they are coming up as truth. We are being encouraged to allow our heart to be the compass and the guide, because there are many things that have to play out in this time before we move into the full embodiment of this 5D reality and this new golden age. So you are being encouraged to sit within the consciousness of your own heart and allow your heart to guide you to the truth. For me, how I see it is I don't choose to align my allegiance with any one person. I more look at the signs and the symbols of the effects of the actions of those people who are being shown to be whatever it is that they are. I look at the actions and I understand that the Most High will use different people, different beings to facilitate this change and facilitate the great works that are needed on the material realm in order to start shifting us into this 5D consciousness, in order to start bringing in this material wealth, in order to start bringing in this deep soul healing and this journey towards oneness that we are moving through. So there will be many revelations that will come to pass, and we will also see many people stepping forward to say that they are this or to say that they are that. You are being encouraged to sit within the consciousness of your own mind, to learn to activate that divine sovereign aspect where you are not looking for a Messiah, but understanding that you are the Messiah, that we are the truth, that we are the consciousness that we see, and that it's not down to any one person. The Most High will utilize different beings for the purpose of achieving certain things that need to be done and activating certain energies. But we are to remain focused on the heart. We are to remain focused on the heart and allowing the heart to discern for us and guide us as to what it is that we need to give our allegiance to in this time. I am also going to share a message from the Seraphim. When I arose this rising, I was greeted by the Seraphim, and I have had connections with the Seraphim before. In 2010, I was initiated into working with the angels of Atlantis, and my guardian angel is Uriel, the Seraphim, and I have been working with Uriel since I was a child, since I was 6 years old. So Uriel came forth this rising to just let us know that there are higher vibrational energies that are working on raising the light quotient of this planet. And so we're encouraged also to eat light. We are encouraged to keep ourselves light, keep ourselves hydrated. There's also a lot happening with the ley lines on the planet as we literally shift the coding, the planetary coding, the codes of the planet, so that she can harness more energy and higher levels of frequency. So the seraphim energy is very much around the planet at the moment, and many people may be feeling like they're seeing flashes of light or feeling lighter beings around them in meditation. You can call the seraphim to you for guidance, because they are one of the higher vibrational aspects of angelic energy that we have available to us. So I am going to read the channeled message that I received this rising, that will help many of you to understand what is taking place, and also some of the activations that are taking place within you. Many people are going through spontaneous Kundalini activations. Many people are awakening their sexual energy, and for some people it's also bringing up sexual trauma and helping them to understand a lot about where they may have had distortions around intimacy, sexual and creative energy, divine feminine energy. And this is all part of being able to bring more of that high energy into the planet. We are activating the Shakti, which is the divine feminine creative principle, and we are activating the Kundalini energy of ourself and of the planet. And the Kundalini helps to raise the frequency of the planet, helps to raise our frequency also. So many of us are going through spontaneous Kundalini activations. You may find yourself feeling highly energetic or very lethargic. You may find yourself just downloading loads of information. You may find yourself wanting to sing or to tone or to be around music or to be in nature. You are being encouraged to just be still, be at peace. When we're going through these kind of upgrades and activations, our mind can sometimes feel a bit confused about what's taking place. And many people are concerned about moving into a space of madness when they are experiencing spontaneous activations. The best way to move through these kind of activations is to stay within the heart and to surrender to the process, knowing that you are a divine sovereign being and that no entity or energy can take over you and take you away from your divine path and purpose. Once you remain in a space of total divine sovereignty and you always connect with the source and say, I only call in the light, you will be aligned with the right frequencies that are for you at this time. I myself had my own experience and realized that when I was connecting with these higher beings, when I was also connecting with my higher self, my new higher self that is coming in, I was feeling fear. And I heard my higher self say to me, release fear, emanate love, just emanate love and surrender. And once I did that, I experienced some very powerful shifts as my higher self started to integrate more within my being. And the higher self needs to be able to connect with your heart. So that is also why we have to do a lot of shadow work, so that we can alchemize the lower self and bridge into the heart chakra as our base, as our foundation. But also when we activate the heart chakra, our personal heart chakra, we now can start to activate the higher heart chakra. And the higher heart chakra is connected to unity consciousness. It's connected to universal love. It's connected to unconditional love. It's connected to the love that has the power to transform all things. And it's also connected now to our throat chakra. What my spirit shows me is a hidden pyramid between the heart, the higher heart, and the throat chakra, and that they all must be aligned for us to really speak our divine truth and for our words to have that power to heal and to transform and to transmute, which comes from the power of love. And only when you see yourself in another, only when you understand that all is one and that all experiences are helping us to get back to the God self, only then can you now speak blessings into the life of others and guide them through their own ascension journey, bringing them back to that understanding of oneness. Only then can you really harness the power of love to heal and to speak blessings and transformations into the life of others. So there is a triad that's activating right now between the heart, the higher heart, and the throat chakra, so that you are now able to activate the ability to speak with divine authority and to speak from the heart, to speak truth. Okay, so these are some of the things that are taking place that some of you may be noticing, that some of you may not be noticing. So I'm going to speak now the message that came through from the Seraphim, and then the guide who brought through this knowledge was called Urta'at, which is light, is the Seraphim's name. And so I'm going to just channel this message, and also if there are any additional things that I need to say and bring forth, I will do so also. I will also speak some light language as it comes up, and maybe at the end of this transmission to help integrate some of this teaching, some of this knowledge, and also help assist some of those who are listening with grounding more of their higher frequency and higher vibrational energies. Thank you. Urta'at. We are in the midst of the first wave of ascension. Many of you have been through the amnesia and the sleep, and have now started to activate and embody your current higher selves. Many of you may have been feeling tired, dehydrated, and drained as the planet's vibrational resonance shifts into a higher octave. Your energetic resonance is the same as the Earth, so any changes in the Earth's grid affect your light body, your energy grid, and so forth. Spend time in meditation, connecting with the Earth's energy field and with the Earth's core. The more that you do this, the more that you will align your energies with that of the Earth and the universe, and also anchor your light. Light workers, you may be feeling the need to rest and replenish, whilst your monkey mind is feeling the need to serve and to continue to serve. You are being encouraged to take the time to rest, do the self-work, and reconnect with self, knowing that in doing so, you are helping others to shift. Take the time to nurture your own light and your own spirit, so that the frequency that you are able to emanate just through your own self-healing can reach a further distance and help more and more people. Light workers anchor the frequency of light. So even if they are just working on themselves, they are activating and emanating frequencies of light that touch others around them and also help to raise the vibrational frequency of the planet. So light workers, you are encouraged at this time to spend time honoring and honing your own light. Ensure that your cup is filled. Make time to connect with Mother Earth. Visualize the planet and visualize sending energy of light to the planet. Visualize your body sending energy into the planet through your feet and connecting and really embedding light into Mother Earth's field and core. The more you anchor the light, the more you assist in the energy shift and stabilizing that energy in both your energy field and in the energy field of Mother Earth. Starseeds, within you have the light codes and frequencies of the planets and star systems in which you come from. Spending time connecting with your star self at this time will be beneficial not just for you but for the collective, as there are many star systems that are trying to communicate, to send frequencies of information and knowledge and downloads to their star seeds to help support this ascension process. Star seeds anchor within them light-coded frequencies and informations from those star families and star constellations from which they have come from. They literally hold and anchor that energy and transmit it as they move around. Starseeds in particular are being encouraged to spend time focusing on connecting with their star families. When I rose today, one of the songs that was in my consciousness was called Star People by Fertile Ground. And it says, do you remember a time when we were one with the sun, when all the joy that we had in our hearts, we were one? And it talks about the ancient stories of the star people. We are the star people. Within each one of us that has chosen to incarnate on this planet at this time, within our energy fields, within our DNA codes, are the fire letters that are activated by those celestial planets from which we originate. Our ancient ancestors were very much aware of their connections to the stars. And many of the ancient traditions speak about the return of the star people and the return of the rainbow warriors. We are the returning rainbow warriors. We are the returning star people. And within us, within our being, within our DNA are the fire codes, the fire letters, the sacred keys that activate and anchor those planetary frequencies on the planet to aid and assist her in her ascension. You are being encouraged, Starseeds, to consciously spend time connecting with the core of the Earth's crystal core, which is now transitioning from emerald of the heart chakra to turquoise blue of the higher heart chakra and the mother arc frequency. You are being encouraged to spend time sending your light down to Mother Earth. You are also being encouraged to send your light up to your particular star systems. The month of July sees us entering into the Sirian gateway, and Sirius has always been very much connected to the development of Earth and all of humanity. When you look at ancient Egypt and ancient Kemet, you will see through the Sphinx the connection between the Sirians, which are also the Lyrians, connected to the Lyrian beings, and humanity. A lot of the technology of ancient Kemet to do with sound and frequency was given and distributed through the consciousness of humanity from Sirius. Sirius also has a very intrinsic connection to Africa in general, and the ancient Dogon people, the ancient Akan people, the ancient Zulu people all speak of connections with the Sirian beings who were able to show them information of the planetary constellations, of information that they should not have been able to know about our solar system from thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. Sirius is the planet of spiritual ascension, spiritual advancement, and spiritual technology. Sirius is the spiritual sun of our sun, because Sirius exists within a higher harmonic universe and octave than our current planet Earth's seeding. So many of you starseed beings may be feeling the need to start working with tones, sound, symbols. You may be writing and drawing pictures, strange symbols. These are all connecting you to the wisdom of Sirius. Sirius is also connected very much to the orca, the whales, and the dolphin energy. For my galactic brothers and sisters who are aware, the beings, the Sirian beings, the dolphins, the orcas, all connect to Andromeda and Aquarian and basically help to transmit energy through sonar, through sonic, through sound, that can heal our physical body and can heal the planet. So sound and water with crystals are very important at this time for amplifying and activating energy. Your grids are activating now also. And so you are also anchoring and emitting star codes that are activating higher frequency bands of energy on this planet and connecting with the Earth's planetary grid. Some of you Starseeds are not very aware of your gifts, but please know that by just following your own intuition, by following your spirit and nurturing yourself, and also by nurturing the visions that you receive, you are anchoring those frequencies and doing your part. The more that you honor the guidance that comes from within, the more clearer you become about your purpose, your destiny, your role in this time, and the more assistance that you will receive in order to bring further understanding. Again, Starseeds and light workers and those who are currently awakening, you are being encouraged to take time to meditate. Take time to meditate on the earth. Take time to meditate on embodying your higher self. Crystals hold very powerful energy at this time. In order to activate the energy within your crystals, you are encouraged to place them under running water, as this stimulates the piezoelectric currents within the crystals. Also, holding the crystals within your body, either to your heart chakra, your throat chakra, or to your third eye, and humming and toning and letting out vibrations of sound will help to amplify your energy field and also activate your crystalline body, which is your rainbow body, which is your light body. As we move into becoming more light-based beings, we are starting to acknowledge our awareness of our light body, our energy field, our auric field. And this is upgrading our awareness of who we are as beings, moving us from the 3-dimensional matter-based consciousness to 5-dimensional and above post-matter light-based consciousness. You are being encouraged to spend time in water, having spiritual baths, combining that water with salt, Epsom salts, magnesium salts, pink salts, crystals, and playing sound bathing music or toning or singing within water will help to clear any distortions in your energy field. It will also help to amplify your energy field so that you can tune into the subtle energies that are going to be emanating down on the planet as we move through this Sirius portal gateway of the 3rd of July, all the way through the month truly, but it peaks at the 7th of the 7th, and we'll speak a bit more about that. So crystals, water, sound is very important for helping to stabilize your energy field. The planet is going through a karmic cleanse at the moment, with Saturn journeying through many of the different planets. As I record this, Saturn is now entering into Capricorn. Capricorn is the sea goat that has made its way to the mountain top. So what Saturn will be doing is testing our ability to come out of our comfort zone, to be our true self, to do the work, and to rise above all limitations. Nurturing your soul, nurturing your body, nurturing your being will assist you in helping to release any limiting beliefs, any programming and conditioning that is no longer for your soul's highest growth and development. This is a time for alchemizing your energy and making way for more of who it is that you are. Sirius also is connected to technology, and so you're being encouraged to be mindful of how much time you are spending on technology. You may want to place crystals around your computers or phones in order to help to limit some of the electromagnetic smog that can be picked up by your auric field when using computers too much. But it's also time for you to upgrade your spiritual technology. So you may want to start listening to light language, or you want to start learning how to connect with yourself on a deeper level. Start to activate some of your spiritual gifts. This is a great time to start learning and upgrading your spiritual technology. Again, take time to meditate, connect with the inner crystals of the earth. Use sound and symbol technology. Use water. Sing over water. You can place crystals inside of the water and sing to amplify the energies. See the energies expanding out through your home. See the energies expanding out through your area. When you're doing your meditation, see the light expanding out to fill your whole home, your whole area. Because you, Starseed, light worker, awakened ones, the more that you start to activate and nurture your energy field, you are now activating and nurturing the energy fields of all of those who are around you. You are placed in the positions of which you are placed so that your energy can emanate and create almost like a force field or protection and transmit positive, healthy frequencies to those around you, to the nature around you, to the people around you. And so you are being encouraged to replenish your own energy. Many of us are feeling very drained because we're not aware of the fact that others around us are requiring and drawing on our energy. So we are being encouraged to keep ourselves nourished at this time and replenished. We must remember that as we shift, the earth is shifting and we feel her shifts within us. So we must take time to rest. We must take time to meditate, and we must take time to go within and be still so that we can be informed of what is taking place in the earth by the earth herself. Many of you speak of the Schumann resonance and identify when it peaks as a powerful surge of energy on the planet. The Schumann resonance of the planet is in alignment with the resonance within you, your own heart's resonance. So when you see those spikes in the Schumann resonance, you should also be able to acknowledge where you've also been through those shifts and heightened states of emotion and energy. Because you are the planet, and what is taking place in the Earth's grid is also taking place within you. And so when we understand that, we realize the importance of stabilizing the vibration of love, stabilizing the vibration of progression and ascension, even in times where we are projected with images of fear or images of separation or images of disruption. All of this is an illusion. And right now we are stabilizing the frequency that we want to maintain the earth at. And this is not the vibrational frequency of fear. So you are being encouraged to go into the inner realms within your own consciousness and keep your vibration high. Send that experience of love, send that power of love out. Visualize the best potential reality and visualize and send that out so that others can align with that frequency of truth and that we can raise the vibrational frequency of the planet. Toning, singing, all help to activate your codes and the fire letters within your DNA. Many of us are going through spontaneous DNA activation because your spiritual DNA is directly connected to your chakras, your dimensions of self. So as we go through the shadow clearing, we are actually activating the latent spiritual consciousness and information within our DNA structures. Many people go for DNA activation treatments or activations with other starseeds and light workers, but the true activation of one's DNA can only really happen once one has activated and acknowledged the soul lessons attributed to those particular DNA strands. Each DNA strand activates an aspect of our spiritual consciousness. For example, the 6th strand of DNA is directly connected to the 3rd eye, and many indigo children are born with their 6th strand of DNA already intact at birth. This is why they're able to have these premonitions and dreams and pick up on people's energies, but it's also why a lot of our young people have been labeled as having autism and Asperger's, because of the fact that their 3rd eye is open, and sometimes these 3rd eyes still also need to be balanced. Okay, so our DNA is directly connected to our spiritual consciousness and our spiritual energy. So many of us will be receiving activations as we start clearing and as we start remembering. Many, as I said before, are also experiencing Kundalini activations at this time. The Kundalini is the sacred creative principle, the sacred creative force laid latent within your root chakra and also within the root chakra of the planet. The Kundalini serpent is what is the symbol of ascension. It is what propels ascension forward. We need that sexual energy to propel us forward, to give us that shift, that move. And it's interesting because it's also connected to Mars energy. Okay, so it's connected to the energy of Mars that is progressive, that is active, that creates action and an activation. Kundalini is also connected to the dragons, the serpents, because the dragons are basically winged serpents. So they are serpents in an elevated state. But the principle and element of fire is the same as light. So fire and light is what purges, purifies, and activates. And so as we are purging and purifying and activating this higher vibrational frequency of energy on the planet, it is through the Kundalini activations within us that activate our higher frequency energies, and also the Kundalini activations that are taking place within the planetary grid, which now allow us to bring in more light energy into the planet and raise the planet's vibrational resonance and frequency. The dragon lines transport energy across the planet through the ley lines. They infuse the planet with light codes and also activate certain sacred sites that have crystals underneath those sacred sites, like Stonehenge, which has a diodic crystal underneath it. I can speak more about that in other videos, but there are specific crystals that are placed within the Earth's planetary matrix and template so that certain energies can be activated at different times. So those of you who live on ley lines, who live in places that are connected to dragons, are connected to water and fire, you are being encouraged to spend time sending energy to the ley lines, sending energy of peace to the ley lines, and also see yourself receiving energy from the Earth's grid, because as you receive it, you become an anchor for that energy. And what the anchors are doing is helping to stabilize the forces on the planet. Because as you see the planet shifting, you see the effects of that in her weather, and you see that in the propensity for her natural disasters. And at current, we have seen locusts we've seen locusts in India, we have been seeing locusts in the east of Africa, we've been seeing many earthquakes that have been taking place over the past couple of days, which have not been publicized on the media. So the earth is going through a very tumultuous change at the moment. So the more that we connect with her energy grid through meditation, through toning, through singing, through seeing the fire lines, the fire energy moving across the planet, we are going to help and assist to anchor some of these energies and to ensure that some of the disasters that take place don't affect many of our people. All right, because the earth is purging and transforming. If you are going through your own personal Kundalini activation, the first thing to know is to just stay at peace and do not allow yourself to go into fear. Connect with the earth and stay grounded and listen to your heart. Reach out to others if you need support, but understand that what is taking place is a total activation of your physical body system so that you can bring in more light, more soul consciousness, more awareness of who it is that you are, and also to activate some of those other latent gifts that you have that are going to be needed for the planet as we move along. You will find also that many children may be feeling emotional at this time. We are encouraged to really nurture our children and engage them in play, engage them in art, engage them in expression. Allow them to be aware of their feelings and help them to start learning to communicate what it is that they are feeling. Expression is so important for children at this time because they emanate the purest of frequencies. We are seeing a lot of young people that have also been involved in some of the protests because the young people hold the codes of the indigo warriors, those who have come to break down the old and bring forth the new. So we must encourage these young people to always be coming from a place of truth, and we must encourage them in healthy ways of expressing themselves and their energy. Especially the younger ones may find it a bit difficult to express how they're feeling. So let's pay attention to our young starseeds. Using a lot of color and crystals and art and creativity are brilliant ways of helping them to express themselves. Water is great for our young starseeds as well, and also energy healing. Tapping into things such as Reiki healing will help with our young starseeds as well. And I'm also offering a Reiki attunement for young starseeds. So if you are interested in that, the link will be in my bio. But we are encouraged to look out for the children at this time. Okay. The dragon lines, the transparent energy that runs across the planet, infuses the planet with light codes and energies that help us to activate and anchor these ascension frequencies into the planet and into terra firma. And when I say terra firma, I was seeing the literal geometric structures of the planet embedded in soil, so this is the deep structures of the planet that we are working with right now when we are sending this light to terra firma, to the ley lines of the planet that are helping to activate the Christ consciousness grid of the planet as well. Because when the Christ consciousness grid of the planet is activated, it allows us to now have this deeper connection with each other. So think of the Christ consciousness grid just like the internet, but it is divine connection. It is divine oneness. It is the divine web that we weave co-creatively together. So this is taking place right now, the establishment of the Christ consciousness grid. Now I will speak to you on the Sirius gateway. July is always seen as a very powerful transitionary month, and ancient Kemet and also the modern world also speaks on and acknowledges the time of Sirius, the Sirius gateway, which is from the 3rd of July to the 7th of July. Also, from my own personal experience and also what I know of ancient Kemet history, the 26th and the 25th and the 27th are also very important dates in the astronomical calendar and in the Egyptian calendar, because it also represents the Sirius New Year. And this is the time when the Nile is at her fullest, and it signals the new year, the new cycle, the new rebirth. And so this month is very, very powerful for aligning with our spiritual energies, aligning with our higher self, and also rebirthing and resetting. And that's pretty much what the whole of 2020 has been about: rebirthing and resetting. So the Sirius gateway begins on the 3rd of July, which is tomorrow, and reaches its peak on the 7th of the 7th. So the 7/7 Sirius gateway will open and bathe the planet in new ascension codes. Sirius and the sun of Sirius is our spiritual sun, basically meaning that that is where we receive a lot of our spiritual information and energy and technology. And so therefore is kind of like the guiding light through our ascension. The Sirians, as I mentioned before, are also connected to the Lyrian beings, and the Lyrian beings also are connected to Andromeda and Arimathea. They basically govern the harmonic universe 4, which is basically the highest planetary highest universal system that is going through ascension at this time. The reason why we are feeling a connection with the Lyrian beings, the feline beings, is because they have already been through ascension and so are supporting us with the ascension at this time. As I mentioned before, when you look at ancient Kemet, Kemet was birthed in the age of Leo, after the age of Cancer, which is the age of water, the gene of Isis, the Genesis, the creation of human. We now moved into the age of Leo, which was the age of light, and that was symbolized by the Sphinx being in ancient Kemet where it was. And as I said, the lion body of the Sphinx represents our Lyrian connection to those Lyrian beings and to that consciousness of the feline consciousness. So also just be aware, if you have cats, just be aware of how they are responding at this moment. My cat is called Shakina, and at the moment she is constantly coming next to me and just purring and letting off these vibrations, but she's also looking for more love as well. Like, she just wants to sit with me. And cats are very powerful beings. They upgrade your energy system, they clear away any blockages, they amplify your energy field, they can literally, they are protectors of you as well, and they see things that you do not see. Cats very much connect with the energy of Sirius, and cats are alchemically serpents and lions. Okay, so the lion and the serpent were genetically modified to bring forth the cat, the feline domesticated cat. And so again, we're seeing that serpent energy, that transformative serpent energy, which is connected to the earth, because the serpent, when you look at how the serpent is the only animal that has its heart close connected to the earth, right? So as much as she also represents ascension, she also represents the connection to the earth. And when we look at the lions, we look at the protectors, we look at the wisdom, we look at the star, we look at the light, right? Embodiment of light and power. So those energies came together to form the Sphinx, and we see the feminine head on the Sphinx representing the divine feminine, representing the seeding of humanity from light. So again, Sirius has always been integral to humanity's development and humanity's spiritual advancement. In previous cycles of humanity, previous seedings of humanity, and now, when we look at the Akan people of Ghana and we look at the Adinkra symbols, those Adinkra symbols are connected to the energy and consciousness of Sirius. In fact, a lot of those symbols were said to be given by Sirian deities to priests and intuitives to help them to connect with certain energies. So Sirius is very much important to the Earth's ascension and her evolution, and also in terms of our spiritual ascension and the amount of information and that we can access that will support our spiritual advancement as beings and also as a planet. So Sirius is very much connected to our planetary ascension and also our planetary consciousness. As I said, the sun of Sirius is actually our spiritual sun. And if you look at books even such as the Sirius, there's a book on Sirius by Robert Temple, it speaks of this connection to Sirius A, Sirius B, and how that has a connection to us as humans and also as avatar and star beings. Sirius, as I mentioned before, is also connected to Orset, Isis, the Great Mother. And so we are seeing her energies being anchored on this planet as we enter this Sirius gateway. And for those of you who are evolved starseeds, who are studying the ascension path, you'll also be aware of the mother arc frequency, the mother arc consciousness. The sphere of Amenti is now being activated and anchored on the planet now as we move into this Sirius gateway. And that's also allowing space for me to bring in more of my higher self now, as the energy of Amenti is being stabilized within the planet. And I will share more about that in another video, but it's very important that we understand what is taking place, and it is an opportunity for humanity to evolve in their ascension. And this plan has been in This plan has been in motion from the beginning of the inception of this earth and the old earth for humans to be able to get to this point of ascension. So everything that is taking place right now is the culmination of many attempts for humans to ascend. And this is why we have so much galactic presence and support at this time, because this is happening and it has to happen. When we look at the Dark Cabal, that is basically a blanket term for certain Anunnaki, Jehovian, Luciferian beings, races that have had part in trying to dominate the seeding process of humanity on this planet for their own needs, to cultivate the resources on this planet. Okay, and we are seeing now more of that truth story being told, but also we are seeing now the results of agreements and covenants that were made at the beginning of the seeding of this planet now coming to the fore. So as we receive all of this assistance from all of these galactical beings, starseeds, light workers, planetary systems, is helping us to understand now that this particular ascension will take place. This ascension will take place, and this is the guidance that I received from the Seraph guide Urta'at. So the Great Mother is rebirthing and allowing us an opportunity to rebirth an higher aspect of ourselves as we let go and release to the shadow the old perception of who it is that we are, or the limited perception of who it is that we are, and awaken ourselves to understanding more of who we are in terms of our soul consciousness, our power, our purpose on this realm. Okay, again, being guided to remind you to focus on the children, pay attention to the children, because the Great Mother is connected to the children, and the children are basically the mothers and fathers of the future. So right now we're being encouraged to just monitor our children and ensure that their spirits are kept high and that they are surrounded by love. This Sirius gateway also brings a higher heart activation, and as I spoke of before, the higher heart is connected to universal love, unity, consciousness, and oneness. And that can only be achieved once you have consolidated your own personal experiences and grounded yourself in your own love, so that love is now the foundation of your experience. The tools that align with the heart are understanding, compassion, empathy, forgiveness, because those are the tools that transform the lower self. Those are the tools that transform the lower self's experience and restore it back to innocence. When you can understand that everything that you have been through in your experience has been helping you and has been divinely designed for your growth and development, you can release feelings such as anger, judgment, blame, guilt, all of the victim consciousness, and now start to embody victor consciousness, divine consciousness, understanding that everything was always happening for your divine purpose and good, and allowing yourself to release from the attachments of the illusions of the lower self through forgiveness, empathy, love, understanding. And so this is where we do the shadow work that now allows us to maintain the heart as our root chakra, the heart as our base element. At this time, we are also receiving liberation codes, and those liberation codes are about anchoring freedom. And those liberation codes I've been shown are being activated in places such as Africa. The US also holds a very big liberation key through the constitution that was created. That constitution is actually a fifth dimensional piece of legislation in the understanding that it protects sovereignty, it protects individual sovereignty, it protects divine sovereignty. And so as much as America has been caught up in the shifts that are taking place in the planet right now, within her land and within her constitution, she has the frequencies available for freedom, for true freedom, galactic freedom, freedom from the cabal, and freedom within. So as much as, there is a lot of mixed energy with regards to how the US is part of this shift, the land itself, the energy itself of that particular place is embedded with freedom and liberation codes, and those freedom and liberation codes in the past have been distorted, have been abused, and have been hijacked. The same with Africa. And so we are seeing a resurgence and a re-cleansing of those spaces in order to activate these freedom and liberation codes for the planet. Also in Australia, New Zealand, those kind of areas, and in some spaces of Hawaii. But I'm also seeing that Hawaii is also going through a purge from Lemuria. So still trying to shift off some of the distortions from the Atlantean and Lemurian holocausts, but that is stories for other days. So this is just to bring understanding that there are many different spaces on the planet that are activating at this time, and the frequency and the energy that they are shooting out is that of freedom and liberation. Okay, because the earth and her inhabitants have been trapped in a period of sleep and of slavery and many other things. And so our purpose of being on this planet is to exercise divine will, divine sovereignty. So a lot of the things that have taken place are outside of our divine sovereign rights. And so in order for us to move into the next stage of fifth dimensional living, where everyone is living from their divine sovereignty, we have to now create constitutions and create laws that are for everyone, that are for the betterment of everyone, and honor each person's individual freedom. So we're going to see shifts this month and next month, and the bringing in of Nezra and Gezra, and different people will be used as tools and instruments to now usher in these freedom codes, the manifestation of freedom and liberty, and restoring the power back to the divine humans, the divine ones. So this is what's going to be taking place over the next 3 months. So the Sirius gateway is going to amplify some of these energies. So Sirius has so there's an Earth and Sirius connection right now. And when there's a Sirius and Earth connection, the energy of the Sirius sun is more powerful than our own sun. So we are literally receiving light-coded information from our solar parent within the universe. Okay, it has always been a guide for humanity, as I've said before. So there's an opportunity here for us to shift in consciousness and ascend to the next level of self, because Sirius is also connected to our spiritual advancement, and also emanates heightened vibrations through sound, through symbol technology, and also brings opportunity for collective ascension. And what that speaks of is, at this time we go through a lot of shifts so that we can catch the wave of ascension, so that we can jump onto the next wave of development and awakening within ourselves. And so that is why a lot of you may be feeling shifts at this time, may be feeling connected to the energy of the planet at this time, because it's an opportunity for you to now shift into the next higher octave of your own experience. During this Sirius gateway, Sirius will bathe the planet with powerful light codes to aid our ascension and to aid the planet's ascension, and to also do the same for each one of you. It's an opportunity to anchor your higher self and go through a spiritual upgrade. It's an opportunity to release all illusions, all false perceptions, all limiting beliefs, and step into the trueness of who it is that you truly are, which cannot be defined or validated by anybody else. This one is a truly powerful activation and gateway, because we're also in the midst of an eclipse. We had the solar eclipse, I think it was about a week ago, and now we have a lunar eclipse around the 4th and 5th of July. So again, bringing in these alchemizing energies of oneness beyond duality, polarity beyond duality. Okay, Blu-ray beings are also highly connected to this particular shift that we're in right now. And the Blu-ray beings are, the ones that emanate the frequencies that activate other people and transmit energies to other people. They're literally like the activators and the transmitters. So the Blu-ray beings may especially feel this shift because of the connection to Sirius as well. They may feel electrical impulses in the body. You may feel just high energy moving through you, and you are being guided to share that with the energy field. You may want to sing, you may want to tone, you may want to just move, share that with the energy field, share that with the earth, share that with people around you, in order for you to amplify your energy as well. If you've got a bowl of water and you put a crystal in it and you tone over it and you sing over it, and to see that energy emanating into everything around you, then you can utilize these powers for the betterment of yourself and others. You are also being guided to eat light, embody light, bathe in blue light, to see yourself in light during your meditations, and also consciously connect with your star family, consciously connect with your starseed family, with your interstellar connections. Like, what star constellations do you feel like you connect with? If you've had a reading, starseed reading, or you've got an affinity to a certain starseed group, it's time for you to start investigating that. Listening to binaural beats, listening to etheric music will also help to alchemize any distortions in your energy field, and also help to balance out your energy. Sirius is considered to be the gateway to heaven, right? And as I said, she shines 23 times more brighter than our sun. The blue ray is also connected to Sirius, and connected to the mind and the divine expression of the creator, of God. So it's a great time for inner work, a great time for connecting with your star family and yourself, great time for working with vibrational energies, plant medicines or flower remedies and crystals. It's that great time for working with subtle energy. Sirius is the realm of the gods. So when you are connecting with Sirius energy, you are connecting with your God self. You're being encouraged to remember your magic and majesty. Majesty, spiritual power, walking in your spiritual power. Okay, as I said, this also anchors the energy of Auset, Isis, the great celestial mother on the planet, and she represents the Queen of Heaven on earth. So what we're seeing right now is when she comes and she's embodied, when Sirius is bathing the planet in light, it's literally bringing Auset, bringing Isis down to earth, bringing the Queen of Heaven on earth. And we are all being encouraged to sit on the throne of our own reality, to sit on the throne of our own being, and to bring our heaven into earth. We have to visualize and vision a new reality. We have to bring our highest self into matter. We have to be that divine aspect of us and bring it into fruition. And that's part of what it is that we're guided to do. She brings rebirth, reclamation of power, spiritual advancement, spiritual knowledge, the ability to speak your truth, the ability to master words of power. And she offers us all rebirth at this time. And remember, I said that the 24th, 25th, and 26th, those 3 dates are also connected to the new year, the Sirius new year that is celebrated in ancient Kemet, and is also represented by the flooding of the Nile. So we're also moving into that stage of rebirth and a recycle, a new cycle. Okay, you're guided to journey through meditation through the Sirius Stargate, and you can do this by just seeing the star, a 7-pointed star above your head, and ask the source to take you to Sirius, to help you experience whatever insight that it is that you need to experience, and just allow yourself to connect and receive in whatever way is for you. The Sirius is far more advanced than our sun, and when I do a lot of my activations and transmissions, I reconnect people back to Sirius, because then you can get access to your soul's wisdom and your divine soul blueprint. And most of your stellar activations, most of your upgrades take place through the energy of Sirius, through light and sound and symbol technology. A lot of the technology that's used to harness the energy of this planet is light, symbol and sound technology. Symbols, sigils, crests, all of this hold and alchemize energy and hold frequencies. So during the first week of July, the vibrations and effects of Sirius will be much stronger, And in the lead up to the lunar eclipse as well, people may be feeling a bit ungrounded. They may be feeling a bit emotional. You're being guided to just drink more water, to be present with your feelings, to honor your feelings. You're being encouraged to dance as well. Move the energy and use this energy to create. You know, when we dance, we're actually harnessing energy, and we can use that energy now with our visualizations and how we direct that energy to manifest and to bring healing, you know, into our world, into our planet, into our life. Okay, so there's been many earth changes taking place. As I mentioned, there have been disasters, there have been earthquakes and natural phenomena, all just helping the planet to shift and anchor her new frequency. Sirius is the illuminator, the blessing of the solar system, and she also illuminates us to our divine blessings, our inner gifts, our inner power. As I said, Sirius is also a planet of technological advancement, and so we will be seeing shifts in our own technology, and we're also being encouraged to upgrade our own spiritual technology using crystals and starting to learn more about your light body, your rainbow body, your energy field. This is the time to upgrade your spiritual technology and your awareness of yourself. You may experience heightened intuition, sensitivity, being tired or lethargic. You may have amplified visions and dreams. Do not be alarmed and embrace the ascension process. As I mentioned before, Sirius is the planet linked to freedom and the freedom and liberation codes, and it's also interesting to note that the Independence Day is during the Sirius gateway. The Independence Day of the USA is also within that Sirius gateway, and as I said to you before, Sirius is connected to freedom and activates and anchors the freedom codes within our planet and within us. Freedom is a frequency, and we are being encouraged to emanate that frequency of freedom. What does it mean to be free? What does freedom look like? And how can you make a conscious decision to honor your freedom and the freedom of others? The declaration of freedom, the declaration of independence, both acknowledging the power of the wordsmith, the power to create from that which is written and that which is spoken. So you're also being encouraged to write your own declaration of freedom, your own declaration of independence, and your own declaration of sovereignty. It's time now for us to reclaim our divine power, not from an airy-fairy perspective, but from the true understanding of who it is that we are. And this awakening process has allowed us to see the truth for what it is. And now it's time for us to reclaim our power within and without. The Sirius connection is also a great time for business and collaborations and making plans for the future advancement of technology and yourself. This Sirius gateway also brings us the opportunity to facilitate balance, divine balance of masculine and feminine energies within ourselves. Because as I spoke of before, the Trinity of Isis, Asar and Heru is also the Trinity that takes place within you, but also the eclipse shows us the balance that needs to take place between the masculine and feminine aspects within us to bring us into oneness. Many times we seek oneness through relationships with others without truly understanding that true oneness comes from marrying all of the parts of yourself in oneness. And so we are being encouraged in this time to honor these energies, to tap into our higher selves, to be willing to release what no longer serves us, and dare to dream, dare to trust and believe in who it is that you truly, truly are. The cards that were pulled for this Sirius gateway, the guidance that we have been given from the source, the first set of guidance comes from the Starseed Oracle and says to us that we are learning how to be human. We have to learn to be in this world but not of it. We must remember our divine aspects. We must remember that we are a soul having a human experience, and that also allows us to observe our experiences and to deal with our own healing from an observer's perspective. releasing attachment to the story, because when you release attachment to the story, you allow yourself to be an evolutionary being. And an evolutionary being is one who evolves and is constantly evolving. Even within myself, I go through periods of embodying different aspects of myself, and each different aspect of myself has a different name, because the name is the key code for the soul frequency that you're tapping into. So in order for us to ascend, we have to be willing to release our attachment to the self and our idea of the self and our idea of what is true, so that we can be a part of what is evolving, what is being created in this now. We are also being made aware of the need for deep cellular healing that's taking place on this planet, and that has been showing up in a lot of the race conversations that have been happening, and us looking at a lot of the wounds of separation and divide. But this is all purging and helping us to move into a realm of understanding rather than the realm of illusion. And this is also clearing up some of this old Piscean age energy of separation. We're also being encouraged to understand that we are at a time when we are rewriting history. See your life as a canvas. You are the artist. It is time for you to take accountability for what it is that you have created, and also take accountability for what it is that you will create in this time. You are a conscious creator who has chosen to be here at this time, to be who it is that you are, and to emanate your unique divine soul frequency. It's now time for you to take charge and to step into living and being rather than just existing and observing. We're also being encouraged now to observe our boundaries and ensure that our relationships are healthy and balanced. Our relationship with ourselves ultimately, and then the relationships with those around us. Because boundaries are about understanding, the power that you are, and boundaries are also about balance of masculine and feminine energies. Your masculine self will protect you so that your feminine self can do what it needs to do, and they work together in harmony so that you can be a divine being standing on a firm, solid foundation of being able to live in your own truth. Also, we have the guidance and support of the whales and the orca elders, who are encouraging us to share our song, to tap into the frequency of sound, to be aware of the words that we speak, the thoughts that we have, and to encourage us to dive deep into the subliminals, dive deep into the deep sound, the deep primordial sounds of creation, and allow ourselves to be healed and to be nourished. We also have some guidance from the source and from the blue flame, and the guidance is that we are going through an activation of our rainbow body. So you're being encouraged to start learning more about your light body, start learning more about your energy field. It's time to upgrade your spiritual technology. It's time for you to start learning. It's time for you to start implementing. It's time for you to raise your vibration. Within you are divine treasures that are yet to be uncovered, and you're being encouraged now to start investigating you, start tapping into your talents and gifts, and start sharing them with others. Each one of us is like an emanating light that has so much to share, and the more that we dig deep into our own gifts, our own treasure troves, the more that we can pick out these gifts to support and help others. We are being encouraged to connect with our soul tribe now. As I spoke of before, with our north node in Gemini and our south node in Sagittarius, it means we are moving away from big organizational structures. We're moving away from big establishments to round tables and small communities and small groups of people who align with the same vibration and who can learn and inspire together. So you're being encouraged to connect with your soul tribe and those who are aligned with the things that you're aligned with, so that you can all support each other in your growth and development. The higher self, my higher self, INSTA, says, allow the heart to be your compass. Allow your heart to guide you through this ascension and beyond, because the heart is the seat of your divine consciousness. But that's why it's important that your heart must be as light as a feather, and that you must consciously seek to bring forgiveness to all of your experiences, so that your heart can remain untethered to the trauma of experiences that you have had that are unresolved. Allow your heart to be free. You're also encouraged to go into meditation. And as I said, meditation is the gateway into the inner realms. So you're being encouraged to go into meditation to commune with your higher self, to observe what is taking place beyond the veil, to sit within the vastness of your own being and to listen to the whisperings and the stirrings and the wisdom of your own soul. In this time,